Hi, welcome to Priestess Entrepreneur Kitchen Conversations. I'm Cindy Morris, and welcome to my kitchen, where, all great conversations happen. It's where we do all our schmoozing, learning, supporting, listening to all of our trials, tribulations, successes, all the great stuff of life. Today, I'm here with Masyn Moyer, owner of the coolest hair salon in Boulder called Urban Pearl. And we're going to be talking with Masyn today about her business and some other ideas she's got going as well. And like a perfect priestess entrepreneur, Masyn has had many businesses, and she's kind of doing two or maybe even three things at the same time, which is what priestess entrepreneurs do. We juggle all our many ideas. So, Masyn, tell us a little about your flower shop. I used to have a flower shop. I'm still in the flower shop, even though it's been, 10 years now. Tell us about your hair salon, which is like a retail business, and tell me a little bit about how you came up with the idea for the shop and kind of the development of it. I've been following it for many years, and it's gone through many iterations of itself over these years.
Yeah, it has, and I think it's just an extension of my own creative side, so it would go through those changes and personal development as well. I think originally when I started the concept, it was 6.5 years ago, because we'll be open for 5 years in March. But the original thought was, it was my third or fourth business, was just...
what other businesses did you do? Because you didn't do retail before, right?
I owned a restaurant.
You had a restaurant, okay.
Yeah, a restaurant immediately before, and I did turnaround operations for bed and breakfasts, and I did a wedding consulting business. What else have I done?
Service.
Yeah,
all service
stuff.
Service stuff.
All service stuff. And... yeah, so 6.5 years ago, I think to me at that time, I had just gotten out of the restaurant industry. It was right around '01 when everything crashed, and it was horrible. And my fallback had always been the restaurant industry, and I needed to find another job. And I don't have a high school diploma or a BA or anything, and so I need to constantly look for what it is that I'm going to be doing and creating it, and I need to just learn skill sets and move through it. And so
because because when you're doing your own thing, you don't need all the fancy degrees. You just need yourself.
Yeah, I think you're just born with it. You know, like I look at I've definitely met some people who have gone to college for business management who don't have a clue. I just think it's, when I was a kid and people would ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up, it wasn't like doctor, lawyer, or anything. I just knew I'd own businesses.
Right.
It's just what I knew I would be doing. It didn't matter what I was doing while I was doing it, that I had this desire to manage and own businesses.
What is it about the business? What is it about owning businesses, creating them, working them? What is it about that is exciting to you, that you always knew?
It's the development of the idea. It's finding an idea and taking it from what nobody thinks it can be and bringing it into fruition. I always equate it with baking a cake at somebody's birthday. And I'm like, it's knowing that somebody's waiting for this, and you develop it, you put the icing on it, you have made it from scratch, and you put it in front of somebody else, and you just kind of sit there and you're like...
Except the cool thing about being an entrepreneur is you might be creating something that people don't even know they want.
Right.
They don't even know they want it until they see it.
Absolutely.
And then, so you're really on the creative end. And of course, I know you're a Leo, and we're into astrology.
Right.
Priestesses are into astrology, and Leos are very creative. So of course you knew from a long time ago, whatever I'm doing, I have to be very creative.
Yeah, and I think, my biggest struggle when I was a kid was not about, like most people are probably trying to decide what they're good at so that they can go and do it. For me, I felt completely and utterly overwhelmed at how many possibilities were out there.
Endless possibilities.
Endless. Like, I didn't even know how to sift through them. I was just like, how does everybody else not see this? Like, I never had a problem getting a job or doing anything.
How could they make a decision?
Right.
Yeah.
It was just like, it's like having a smorgasbord in front of you and going, it's just my job to pick one.
For now.
Yeah.
Just one at a time.
And I never did anything longer than 6 months, because I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Nope, I'll do that until I don't want to do it anymore and do that.
Or till I master it, till I figure it out.
Exactly, master.
So is there part of this entrepreneurial spirit of this challenge of I'm really interested in knowing how to do that. I don't know how to do it now. Let me see if I can learn how to do it.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love that aspect of it because there's a lot of people that get bogged down in that right away. It's interesting because I'm training somebody right now to assist me at my house. She's at my house, and because what I realized is that starting in 2010, I storyboarded just like you would writing a book or anything else, and I wrote down each one of the items that I'm working on. Urban Pearl, me as a business.
Urban Pearl, the salon.
Salon, me as a business, the books that I'm writing, this new television show that I'm working on, and I jotted them all down with Post-its on my wall, cleared everything off. And what I'm teaching her is that you are a juggler. You put them all up in the air, and what I'm going to teach you how to do is identify which one's dropping quick, and you need to pop it back up into the air.
Okay, so being a master juggler.
Right, yes. And it's identifying which ones, and then it's also following the energy. So you might put something up into the air, kicking it around, but really there's no energy behind it. You got to let it drop away, and you focus on the rest of it.
Right.
So teaching somebody else how to do that as well, and so I think that was one of the things that I had to develop within myself, is trusting that there's people like me out there, because really the reality of it is everybody's trying to put you in a box. Find a career. Oh, my grandparents who raised me were like, I've been doing the same job since I was 18 years old. You need to find a job.
Find a job. Find a job. But when you're an entrepreneur, there's no such thing as find a job. Right. So let's go back, though, to something you just said about when something's not working, to let it go. So I know that you've had a big transition at your shop this year. And I know that you had a particular idea for how things should be, and it kind of didn't work.
Oh, it didn't work.
So I really want to talk about that, because you had a great idea, but it just it was ahead of its time, probably.
I thought it was brilliant.
Well, you are brilliant. You are brilliant. So tell me about what that idea was, and then what happened with all that.
So the concept was, when I first started Urban Pearl, because, having worked for all these other people, was that I always felt that there's this way to bring good people together under a good space, and that we could all collaborate together, and that vibrationally we would even raise the place more. And that I believed if you took that pyramid of traditional management and you turned it upside down, and I really saw my role as supporting and moving out all the obstacles. If I put the systems in place, move the obstacles out of the way, people would flourish. And I read all these different books, and it just seemed like it was like this concept that was brilliant, but nobody was putting it into play, and I was like, I can't understand. Did I stumble on something here? And I'm just thinking that, I was that brilliant.
Did I discover something?
But,
so what was the reality of that like? So let me just clarify. You wanted more of a group experience, group responsibility, and somehow that you were also having a place where people could come and discuss what was going on in their lives, so that, because we know that our work, where we spend so much of our days, is really part of our lives. We can't compartmentalize away from that.
Well, and that was the whole key, was that if we spend a majority of our days at work, I wanted to create a space that was awake and present in that, saying that my development as a person is not separate from me being at work, that I actually either consciously or unconsciously chose to be where I'm at during these 8 hours to do work, and that everybody in the shop is a reflection of something I need to learn, or a mirror that I need to learn that's here. So again, even as myself, being there, I say it's totally Sybil when I look around the room. There's something in everybody, and everybody else, whether they know it or not, have chosen to be there. And because it's such an awake environment, and so many people have consciously chosen to work on things, it's raised that vibrational level in the shop. So yes, I thought that what you could create, because everybody was so aware, and I intentionally did that through the interviewing process and who I brought in, what I thought were communicative, awake individuals.